greenhouse farming is a method of preventing pest and disease from attacking your plant. It also gives you an opportunity to have a very, very high yield. Most people consider it expensive, and so some people, in a way of creativity, are introducing the greenhouse concept into the open field farming. This week we are still touring Farmer Nee's farm, and we were in the greenhouse last week. This week we found ourselves in the open field, and one thing I see in common is the trellising that we have in the greenhouse, the covering of the place where he does the production, and of course he even has raised beds. This and many more, including the irrigation tubes and many other things, I have seen in the greenhouse, and they are still here. He'll be telling me more about how he infuses the knowledge from greenhouse to open field method of farming, and has been working for him all this while. My name is Enyunam, and this is The Ghanaian Farmer. Get interactive on our social media pages on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on YouTube, The Ghanaian Farmer. Is it a question or contribution? Let's hear from you. Remember, at the end of watching, please subscribe and share our videos. I'm going for a quick break, and when I come back, I will be standing right here with Farmer Nee to talk to him about his journey from civil engineering to becoming a farmer. So thanks for joining us, and this week it's a brand new week, but we are still in the premises of Farmer Nee's farm. And last week we were at the greenhouse. This week we are back to the open field, because he mentioned something very, very important, that the water that is used in the greenhouse doesn't go waste, but it is pumped into the open field to grow other forms of veggies. Right behind me, you can see some habanero, you can see some sweet corn, there are some carrot, there are some beetroots, and many other things. But I'm going to be asking him to run me through how different it is farming right in the soil, but using some of the greenhouse methods here. And so he'll be telling me more about it, and then you and I can learn a thing or two. This is The Ghanaian Farmer. Get interactive on our pages, on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on YouTube, The Ghanaian Farmer. Is there a question or a comment? Share with us, and we'll be open to help you to start your journey in agriculture and agribusiness. Farmer Nee, thanks for joining us again. And this week we're going to be touring this whole place. Anything new we see, we'll talk about it. So this is the open field you mentioned last week when we're in the greenhouse. Now I see you growing right now here. You're growing directly from the soil. But I can see some of the greenhouse, things showing up here. Now run me through what happens here.
Okay, so over here, as you rightly said, I'm growing in the soil. As against using the cocoa pit in the greenhouse, but we're still doing the drip irrigation. So we're still using drip to do the fertigation as well. We have our tanks over there, we mix nutrients over there, and then we have a tank down there where the runoff from the greenhouse is collected. We test it, see what and get the right TC, and then we pump it back in here to do the irrigation on the open field. On the open field, we employ the plastic mulch, which suppresses the weeds, so we don't have to come and be weeding in here, and then also conserve a bit of the moisture in the soil. Yes, we also employ trellising on the open field, that's just like we found in the greenhouse as well. So more or less the same practices that we do over there. The only thing different over here is that they don't have the shade cloth, which we provide for the plants in the greenhouse. We, however, provide the shade cloth for the leafy greens, the lettuce, because those ones are a bit fragile. But on the open field, it's exposed to the weather, the messes of the weather, and also the pests, because they can come in as and when they want to, as against a greenhouse.
So if you're producing directly from the soil, why have beds? Why not just put the plants?
So I have these raised beds because the raised beds also drain faster. And sometimes when it rains and then the water's over here, you don't have it waterlogged and clogged, because you don't want to block the roots, cause decays, or prevent the roots from getting oxygen in there and all that. So the raised beds tend to drain faster. And then also we prepare the beds. It's not just the beds, but we infuse, we applied manure as well tilled it, and then formed it nicely.
Okay.
And also because we wanted to cover with the plastic mulch to suppress the weeds, that's why we did the bed, formed it so that we can cover it, as against leaving it open like that. Yes.
Okay.
And it would also not be okay for us to just cover the whole area with the plastic mulch.
Right.
Yes. So we employ the beds here.
Okay. How many plant population is on each bed?
So on these beds, I think we have about 120 plants on it. We staggered them. We've lost some of them,
right?
Yes, but then I think on each bed we have 120 plants on them.
What's the space in between each plant?
The space in between each plant is about 40 cm. With the staggering, yes, but in between the two rows, I think we did about 25 in between.
What variety of habanero is this?
We're doing a variety from Holland Green Tech. We're doing Mawazili and then Loleza. We're doing the red and then the yellow. Yes, and they have different pungencies.
Okay.
Yes. Everybody and what they tend to like.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long does it take to mature?
So I think with these ones as well, it's just about, if I'm not mistaken, about the same 70, 80 days. Yes. Usually you tend to have them green, but it's with the color change. If you want the color change, then tend to have a few extra days added to that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you also have sweet corn far behind.
Yes.
Why sweet corn?
Well, we're trying to create a niche for us. As I said, we have lots of residentials around, yes. Trying to satisfy almost every palate for people. So when you come in here, those are like the salads, those are the vegetarians. People would want to have their sweet corn, some beetroots, carrots. So we're just trying to more or less satisfy, but mostly with things that we can also have control on. We don't want to grow so many, but just enough for a household. When I come in, I can get enough to do my salad, so I can get enough for the households. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So on the same piece of land, do you always grow habanero here, or you rotate at times?
We rotate. The last habaneros we did was on the far end. Yes. And then this time around, we decided to bring it to the side. We try to rotate. So between the habaneros, I think over here we had some cabbages here. Yes, and then after that we brought this habaneros here. Tilled the land, we broke up the soil again. Yes, added some manure as well, tapped it, and then brought the habaneros here. And then we have the sweet corn, which we're trying to also stagger the growth at different stages. Yes, and then we have lettuce on the far end of it. We have some carrots on the other side. We have beetroots, as I said, some bits of chili. The aubergines, Black Beauty. I think we have mint. We have mint. We have basil. And then we have we have quite a number. Yes, quite a number.
Right.
Yes, yes,
okay. Yes. Now let's talk about the management practices that goes on here, vis-a-vis what goes on in the greenhouse. What are some of the unique management practices or agronomy practices you adhere to the open field vegetables?
To the open field, I mean, we still prune them. We don't leave them bushy. Yes, we're still trellising, so then we don't have the plants falling on the floor. Yes, also the spacing, as you said, so allow good aeration in there as well. And generally, yes, as you say, using the plastic mulch. We don't use weedicides
at all.
We don't use weedicides.
So everything is organic.
Yeah, but we don't use weedicides yet.
Right.
Yes. But if we say, I would probably put it about 80%
organic.
Yes, because we can't get all the organic inputs here. But mostly, once the fruits come on, through to harvesting, we try to go as organic as possible. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but being in the open field, you tend to have more pest issues as against being in the greenhouse. Yes.
Okay. So in that case, how do you prevent the pest, or how do you manage it so that it doesn't get worse?
Okay. So as you said, we have protocols. We have spraying regimes that we do, trying to be proactive. Sometimes we have some spinosas, some neem oils and other stuff that we do. And there are different periods with the requisite PHIs, days in intervals for you to harvest and all that. Those are some of the measures that we do. Sometimes we try to get some bio stuff.
Safety.
Yes, we employ over here as well.
Okay.
And then just the usual cleanliness as well. Yes, if you're pruning, you don't leave the pruned parts on the floor. If you have your scouts looking for pests and all that, you know, as and when to apply. And yeah, those are some of the measures we do apply over here.
Now, I wanted to ask you, when you do pruning and then when you do weeding or all that, what happens to the debris? So
we have a pit over here that we do. We're trying to turn them into manure to use over here, but then we had the incidents where we had the infection and there were quite a lot. So they were put in there, so we decided to stop it. So we just put it in there and just buried up the space.
Right.
Over there.
Okay. All right. I also realized that you have some bamboos in between the crop. What does it serve as?
So the bamboos are helping for the staking. So we put the bamboos in and then we're using the ropes to trellis it on the side, staking it so that the plants do not fall off on the side. So it contains the plants in the middle and keep it upright.
All right. So this is still the Ghanaian Farmer. My name is Enyonam, and this week we are still within the premises of Farmer Nee's farm, and it's all about telling you the difference between growing or producing vegetables in the greenhouse versus introducing some of the greenhouse practices or items or techniques on the open field. And he tells me he has a vast number of things to select from when you walk in here. You can place an order on the website. You can go on Instagram, pick up their number and call them, or you can walk in and then you would enjoy freshly harvested vegetables. I'm going for a quick breather. When I come back, we'll talk a bit more about how to ensure that these vegetables are well kept, even in absence. Recently, he went to UK to enjoy. So UK, say US, Donald Trump, and anybody. It's a make or break. I'll be right back. Thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, this is the Ghanaian Farmer. And today it's all about Farmer Nee and his works for these past few years as a farmer, cum civil engineer. So, you know, farm hands are a handful to handle. Recently, you had to go on break and come back. In your absence, how are you still sure that work is going on well?
What the first we try to do is to install a system in place, protocols in place. So we have their times for irrigation regimes, which are boldly pasted in their rooms there. And then we have the recipes as well. Then there's a team lead over here in my absence as well. I also had my personal assistant who helps as well. She has an agribusiness background, but she prefers to be in the office. But whilst I was away, she doubled up over here to help with the work over here. So it's more or less trying to stick with the protocols. And we do a lot of social media interactions as well. I noticed this over here, send me a picture of it, then we correspond. So whilst I was away, I was more or less remotely working as well. The issue had to be probably the time interval difference, but mostly you wake up and you find some messages and you respond to them as quick as possible. But more or less, it's also not just all about myself. It's also about empowering them as well. So I give them that leverage, that space to help build the capacity. So I try to tell them that you should be bold enough to make certain decisions and be also bold enough to defend or give a reason for that doing that, because I need a system that will be robust, that with me or without me, it should be able to seamlessly flow. So that's what I try to do with them over here, and that's how we were able to manage whilst I was away.
Are you open for investment? Because I'm sure after this interview, a lot of people would reach out to you, want to partner, want to invest. Are you open for that?
Well, it depends on what the person is bringing on board. Maybe
Okay.
I would still listen to, but yeah, like we'll listen to it. So far, it's been more or less myself, but I don't know what angle whichever person wants to bring in would listen, and if it makes sense, if it's mutually beneficial. I think it's something we can both look at.
Okay.
Yes.
As a young farmer, what are some of the setbacks you're still trying to work on?
So the setbacks, as I said, I mean, a lot of resilience, we need that as well. The key issue is getting people to understand what we're doing. I've had some workers who are still in their old ways, still entrenched in their old ways, who do not believe in some of the practices that we want to do. Some people don't see why I should disinfect my shoe or use a sanitizer when I'm going into a greenhouse. Some can still move a tool from this greenhouse and take it into another greenhouse, spreading stuff. So these are some of the things that's getting them to understand that what we're doing is different. Some of them have worked on farms where they've probably grown on acres or hectares of land, and the yields they get is not so much. It's very small. So when they see you over here and they see the yield that you're getting, but you're having all this yield, why are you complaining about certain practices? But I mean, there's that room for growth. There's so much potential. If we could get about 80-90%, why are you settling for 60%? Because you thought you're thinking it's better than the 30% you had over there. So that's been some of the setbacks coming in years. With me, water has been a personal challenge over here because we are right in the city over here, as you know. I'm paying commercial rates for water, which is not consistent. I have to augment that by buying tankers sometimes. They come in and a tank of water is so much, so that also increases the cost of production for us. That coupled with the operational appliances and other things, sometimes they come in with it, yes. So those have been a bit of the challenge for me, yes. And also getting that sense of responsibility, which I think is a bit like with some of us over here. We come in and we tend not to be a bit meticulous in our ways. I mean, for lack of a better word, it's not mine. So why should I put in so much effort into it? But at the end of the day, this is what more or less takes care of all of us. So those are a bit of challenge that comes in, and I feel like maybe with a bit more conscious effort to change the mindsets of people. Because I feel some people still feel agriculture is what they saw. There's not that much respect back in the days and all that. So they don't see so much reason in a lot of these stuff. And I think if we can retune the minds, I think that's something that would help us.
Why do you think most of the diasporans who come after watching series of videos, the enthusiasm, they bring their dollars, they end up failing? What do you think is the cause?
Well, one thing I also say, and even within Ghana here, what might work on one farm might not work on my farm. We've had the issue, like personally over here, humidity in my greenhouses are very low. They can go as low as 30%. This affects pollinations, so I tend to have flower abortions. I have measures that I try to employ and all that. You go somewhere up the mountains, it's about 70 and all that. So if you take over there, the practices that you might probably do, and then you bring it here. Sometimes I shower over here, I use foggers in my greenhouse. You see me using foggers, you go to another environment and then you employ that over there. You might tend to have fungal issues and all that. So I think some people come in and they don't probably do a proper research, they don't get the proper people, and some of them assume I know it to come in. But there's nothing wrong with trying to learn or seek more knowledge from people. I think that is one of the key things as well. And I think some of our people are also not very honest with the people that come in, because I've seen people on social media who crunch numbers. Oh, you have an acre, you can grow 500 plants, and the plant is giving 100 kilos, and you multiply 100 by 100 seeds, and you make it. They make it too simplistic and too wild, and you get people moving into it, and then they see the reality, and they're like, no, that is not what was sold to me. And then they start to lose hope. But then we need to be conscious of the fact that it's not just like that. It's not a clear cut. There are turns, twists, and turns. Sometimes there was many things you still learn whilst you're going on. So I think it's more about adapting, learning, and then also trying to master your craft where you are. Even if you can't, try to get the right people that would help you. I think if we can have those things sorted out, it will be a good selling point for them.
Okay. Okay. Great. This has been very insightful and exciting. We've had a lot of, discussions and all that. But one thing I realized is some of the cover, is it cover or rubber or whatever?
The plastic mulch.
They are tearing apart. Why?
Yes. There again, also sometimes the availability of the products on the market.
Okay.
Some of them are not as good.
Yes.
Yes. And with the heat.
Yes.
And all that, they tend to tear up.
Okay.
Sometimes too with us as well, the workers, they're moving something across. It gets stuck on it.
Yeah.
They pull it. It tears up. Becomes an issue.
Okay.
Yes. So those are some of the issues that we have with it.
Right.
And also sometimes it's also based on usage. It's been there for quite a number of times.
Okay.
Yes. So it becomes it wears out.
Right.
Yes. So those are some of the issues.
Okay. If you change anything about Ghana's agriculture, what would that be?
That's a tough one. Changing something about Ghana's agriculture, I think. There's so many things that come to mind. I'm just trying to find the right one to say. More or less, helping with capacity building. I think that's one area we should look at, helping with capacity building. And then there are certain, farming, there are certain areas that are probably known for certain products and other stuff. So if those capacities can be built in those places, or if the government or there are certain off-takers maybe building that capacity, and then leaving the farmer to more or less concentrate on the farming. So maybe there are farmers who are probably producing, you sit down, I don't know which institution or wherever it is, I need 1 ton from you every month. That is all I need from you. Good quality, probably pesticide-free or insecticide-free or whatever it is. Give the protocols for the person. And then maybe the other institutions or wherever it is can take care of the marketing bits of it or off-taking them. I think it would help a lot of the farmers, because most of the farmers are battling with growing, looking for markets, managing a business bit of it, looking for financing and all that, which is a bit of a handful for a lot of the farmers as well. So most people tend not to be able to sustain it over a period of time. There's so many things I think they can look about around it. I think if we can look at that, maybe it will help farmers somehow.
Okay. Famani, thank you so much for giving us a tour of your farm and sharing your journey. Some of the challenges. Look, so those of you who assume that if I go into farming, it has to be all smooth, my brother, my sister, Famani bought water when there was no water on his farm, and almost half of the greenhouse tomatoes and bell pepper just went off. He has to approach them and throw them away. You know what happened to us at Sege? We lost huge amount of seeds. But that does not break me. I'm still going into farming. You will see me action very soon. And so, come on now. In every industry, there are the setbacks, there are the wins. And so, you don't have to be so much disturbed when you hit the rock. You need to get up and keep going. It is the failures that will make you strong, make you resilient, make you a better farmer. And he, a civil engineer, he started with a consultant, but throughout their stay with them for some months, now he's a whole... he can consult for you and I'll charge you money because he has learned. Thank you so much, my brother, for having us. And yes, go on Instagram, Famani. You would find him there. Go on the website again.
It's www.famani.com.
Okay.
Simple.
www.famani.com. You can place your order. If you want to come by for visit, people are not allowed in here. So you need to book before you come. And of course, if it's for consultation, he charges. It's not for free. Thank you very much for watching The Ghanaian Farmer. Remember to subscribe to the channel, share all our videos, and of course, if it's about coming to Ghana to invest in agri, talk to people like us. We have been in this space for long. We've known the ins and outs, and he talks about reality. Don't watch polished videos and assume that's it. Agriculture is not easy, neither is it cheap. But if you do and do well, you would make the money that you want to make. So long as you're not ready to give up yet, then of course, Agrek will not give up on you. My name is Anyona Manyajete. Catch me on all social media platforms. It's The Ghanaian Farmer. Remember to subscribe to our agrotourism that is starting in Cape Coast and many other parts. You can call us on 0554-830-431 and be part of this agrotourism initiative that we are championing here in Ghana. We need people to visit the farms, talk to Famani like we're doing today, get first-hand information, let him share the experience with you, and he'll come by to support you even if he has to. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, sir.
And if you want anything, just reach out to him on social media. Until then, it's a bye-bye from us.